Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You pick one you like. I hope you're well. This is Yogi here. So, today, for this session, we're doing something a little bit different, okay? And we are going to, or I am going to give you a basic, high level walkthrough of cross stitch saga. Okay, so this is responding to quite a lot of requests and questions regarding this app. And this is a great app. I've only been using it for, maybe only a couple months. And I love it. And I know a lot of you have been really trying really hard to get the app working for you. But a lot of you probably don't know where to start because it works a little bit different from Pattern Keeper, which is what most of us used to, or even a markup RXP. So this session is not meaning to go deep into every single function. The goal of today's session is to give you enough knowledge and tools to go into the app and start using it. Maybe for our soul, which is the next stream later on at around 8 p.m. UK time. Okay, so if you already have your app, then follow the stream and maybe you can start using it right away. That would be my goal. So let me just say hello to everyone. Thank you. I know this is a slightly different stream. I won't be stitching for this session. Therefore, the frame is not really, my fabric is not on the stand and it's for demonstration purposes. So mostly you'll be looking at the app screen. Okay, so let me say hello to everyone. Rajal, hello, first report to the chat, and Carla and Sarah is here as well. Kristen and Carla here as well. Hello, hello. And Frankie as well. Welcome. And Travis as well. Well done. And River is here as well. Vaduhi, Cassie. Hello, Cassie. Anjigo. Oh, all the usual suspects. And Lanido and Ladach as well. And Joyce is here. I bet she's trying to help me. She knows that I know absolutely nothing about this app. She's going to help me out. And Lisa is here as well. Journals and Stitches. Very interesting name. She says, hi, my friend. Suzanne told me about this channel. And community, just excuse me, just being in the background for now. Oh, a lurker is coming forward. Fantastic. And Jan Doll is here as well. So I'm time boxing it for about an hour roughly. And because we have another stream for our Sao, Amy Sao. Oh, I can't wait later on. And so let's get started. So the goal here is to walk you through the basic steps. And I'm assuming that you already have a converted file ready for you. Okay, this is my assumption for this walkthrough. If you have issues and questions about conversion, we leave it till later if we have some time, or join our Facebook group. There are a lot of very helpful members and will help you either to convert the files or teach you how to use it. Okay, so let's start. So what I'm going to do is to show you the app view. So this is where we're going to be most of the time for this stream. And hopefully we can wrap it up in an hour and we can move on to our soul, okay? So that's the plan. First of all, this is my screen. I'm using an iPad. The app also exists on Android, but let's leave it aside because currently it's not being, it's downloadable, but it's not on the App Store right now. So we're focusing on the iOS version. So now I'm going to open the app. So this is what I've got, the patterns I've got currently on my app. And let me know if you can see my mouse cursor here. Okay, so from time to time, I might need to point to highlight the area. And while I'm doing this initial walkthrough, I'm not going to look at the chat too much, okay? So forgive me if you have questions. And if you have specific questions, then save it till I've done the basic walkthrough. And then I'll try to do my best, or some experts in the chat will help us to answer your questions. So these are the patterns I already have, but what I'm going to do is to show you how to bring the pattern to your app, okay? So first of all, you can see there's a cloud. Let me see, there's a cloud up icon on the upper right there. And so instinctively, what I did was I tap on the cloud because I save my dice pattern, compatible pattern on my Google Drive. So I come to my Google Drive. So this is my Google Drive. I've got a folder there, already have a pattern there, just for demonstration purposes. So I tap on that and I come into the folder and it looks grayed out. Okay, so this is either a bug or just for my iPad for this model, I have no idea. So this is a no-go. So if this is where you get stuck, let me show you another way. So close this menu, and what you want to do is come out of the app and then come to Google Drive. So you should have an app on your device, and go to the Google Drive or whatever drive, iCloud, whatever, and go to where you store the app, the file first. So here I am. This is the same folder we just looked at on in-app. It looks grayed out, but when I open this folder directly through Google Drive, it's there, okay? You can interact with it. So this is what happens when I tap on the file. It's a very specific extension. It's called DIZE. It's compatible with Paradise, which is conversion app. If you don't know what it is, there will be some explanations later. But this is the compatible. Your pattern has to be compatible with the app, which means you will have this extension there. So it looks like nothing's happening and you may get stuck here. But what you do if you're on Google Drive, or I think it probably works the same with iCloud as well, go to somewhere that you're able to open up the system menu for that app and use Open In. So this is here. Let me bring this Open In here. Okay. This will take you, this option will allow you to specify which app you want to open this file in. So if I tap Open In, here we go. It gives me the option. If you already have Saga installed, it should appear here. So all you have to do is tap on Saga, the icon, and it takes a few seconds. It's really fast actually, because with Pattern Keeper it takes a while. You have to confirm this, that, and the other. You don't with Saga. It's there already. So all you have to do is tap on the pattern. Let me do that. And this is the initial view that you'll see. Okay, so it basically gives you a one of the view modes, which shows you the markup itself plus the all the grid. And so this is one of the views. It's going to be very useful going forward. If you look at the toolbars at the bottom where there's a light bulb, let me see if I can bring like this one. It's active at the moment. Okay, what you have to do is to tap on the light bulb. So if there's some noises coming from the outside, it's my neighbors having a barbecue party. It's a beautiful sunny day in London. And, if you hear some really excited male voices coming through, it's just my neighbor having a good time, okay? And we have enough female power here to neutralize the overly active testosterone. Okay, we're safe. We're safe. So what I'm going to do is to tap on this light bulb to turn it off. Okay, I'm going to turn it off now. And now you see the actual unmarked pattern here. So you can flip it on and off. You can try it if you have your app in your hand, and you can just top it on and off of the light bulb, and all it's not marking anything. It's just allow you to see what the pattern is like underneath if you were to mark it. Okay, so it's unmarked. So I'm going to quickly walk through from left to right of what these icons are. Again, I'm not going to be too in-depth. I'm just going to give you basic ideas of what they are. There are a couple of icons are more important when you first start it, and I'll spend a little bit more time on those. And the rest of them, I'll just, give you a very high level description of them. So the first one is the eye. It's not a critical function, but it's a nice one. Okay, so let me tap on the eye here. And what it does is it gives you a stitched simulated version here. So it's different from the one we just saw with the light bulb. The light bulb basically give you a marked view. But this one, if I zoom in very carefully, okay, look at this. You can actually see the stitches. Can you see that? All these little stitches. So this is why this app is so ahead of what we want, or in my head as a stitcher, is few steps ahead of us. What it is you can specify what type of stitch. So here's the full cross. And you can do a half cross as well, I believe, and maybe even back stitches. I haven't tried that. So you can specify what type of stitches you're going to stitch for this project, and basically have the simulation of what it looks like in terms of texture. You can even go as far as specify what kind of thread you're using. Maybe something a bit more silky or something. I haven't. You can tell that there's a simulation of Ada at the background as well. So it's very realistic. So this is a nice to have kind of function. So I'm going to just leave it there. You can play with it. And I'm going to untap the eye and then move on. The next one, we talked about the light bulb. Okay, you just turn it on and off to, but we'll come back to it a little bit later. It's going to be relevant. And the happy face. It's hard to tell what it does until I mark an area. So let's leave the happy face, the smiley face here for now. And I'm going to move on to the next function. Okay. I think when you come to a pattern by default, there are a few things you probably can go into define. So let's jump over to 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth icon on the right here. Okay, so this is grid related icon. It's more relevant as you come into a new pattern. So let me tap on it. So with Saga, a lot of times if you press and hold, you quite likely will get a pop-up menu like this. Pretty much all icons, if you press and hold, you get some sort of pop-up that you're able to tweak your options. So this is regarding grids. It says on the tin. On the left is the stitches. So these, you can turn the stitches on and off. Let me zoom in a little bit. I think that's what it does. This is the grid. So you can see, if I zoom in a little bit, you can turn the fine lines between the 10 by 10 area on and off. Sorry, not that one. On and off. I don't know why you will ever turn it off, but you can, okay? So this is a function. I don't know when you will ever use it. But what you can do is you can change the color of the grid if you want to. I think you can. Yes, you can make it green, any color. I leave it black, okay? So you can play with that. And then the next one is, which is quite unique for Saga as well, you can define 5x5 grids. And this may be very confusing for most of the patterns because majority of patterns come in 10x10 like this, right? And but some people prefer to have the 5x5 definition as well. So if the full length, full border is too overwhelming, by tapping it, this icon again, right? This one, the third one, switch to another view. Let me tap it. You can have a cross in the middle, and you can also play with the colors. All the lines pretty much in Saga, you can change colors to suit your needs, maybe differentiate from the 10x10 border. So that's quite useful as well. So let me just turn it off for a little bit so we have the clarity here. And then on the right, this one, if I tap it, you can turn off the 10x10 grid. I don't know, maybe only Sarah would do that because she doesn't grid. So this is probably Sarah mode, okay? And but for the mere mortals, we want it on, okay? The fourth one. So let me turn it on. And the diagonal and the remaining two, I'm going to leave them right now. And it will become relevant when we come to selection kind of area. So I'm going to close that off. So that's a basic grid. These are the options you have. And once you're there, so what makes Saga ahead of the, well, not ahead, but unique in a way, is that the method you're able to stitch with it. So most of people probably have some idea when if they watch my streams, you will probably see something that looks like this. So what I'm going to do is to move my cursor down. Hopefully you can see it. And to this little, the fourth icon from the left here, where's the arrow pointing out. So this is a very important icon to know. So by tapping on this icon, let me do that. It creates a 10x10 by default, a little box. And this box, let me zoom in a little bit and maybe let me change the color so you can see it a little bit better here. Let me make it maybe lime green. Okay, so you can play with the color as well. We'll come back to this menu in a bit. So by default, when you tap on that icon, you come to this little 10x10 box to start with. And what you can do is by dragging where the these little handles here, you can drag it, move the box to any area, any location of the pattern here. So you can stitch by 10x10, that's fine, that's default. Or you want to define the area wherever you are on the pattern here. I want to make the box a little bit bigger. So maybe 4x4, 4 blocks at a time, or 6, and start stitch in that area. So what a highlighter this box does is to isolate an area of the pattern for you to focus on. And within this area, you can do whatever you want. It locks out the area from the outside, the grayed out area. It basically disappears. All you're focusing on is the area you define. So you can move it down. You see, I just moved it accidentally. So it means locking the box would be a very good idea. So in order to do that, all you have to do is tap on this icon again. So fourth on the left, let me tap again. It's locked. So now I can't move it. So normally I leave it locked unless you have very good reason to leave it open. So I want to dive into this selection a little bit, because very likely if you come to Saga, this is the method you want to be stitching, and that's why you're here. Because all the rest, methods like cross countries and parking, this and that and the other, you can use Pattern Keeper and do it really well. So I'm going to highlight the strengths of this app right here. So once you have that area, let's say I just want to focus on this area, and now the menu, the little toolbar on the left becomes relevant. Okay, let me see if we can move. Yes, this one, little thing there. And this is now closed, and all you have to do is to press around this plus area. Use your finger, press down and hold, and then you can turn it, you can move the direction of the bar here. So if you tap again, it opens up this option. This is my default, my favorite position, but you can move it anywhere. You can move the bar, the location, but also you can turn it, well, you have to close it in order to turn the orientation of the bar. You can make it horizontal as well, or downwards, but each time you need to close it in order to do so. Okay, so close the menu, and then you can turn it wherever you want. You can move the bar anywhere on the screen to suit your needs, and you can make it horizontal, vertical, whatever you want. So let me switch to my favorite position here. Okay, so yours might be different, but I'm going to show you mine. So this is normally where I position my bar. If you've seen my stream, you probably see this many times. So here, from here, currently the chart is logged, so you can see there is a little log symbol there. So most of the time, if I'm going to go for the vanilla version of stitching, following the stitch numbers, I'll do that, and then we can talk about variations. Okay, so my favorite method would be going from looking at this area. I will I like to stitch from with the colors that's got minimum number of stitches to start with, and then increase the number. Okay, the reason I want to do that is then all the floating threads that could happen on the screen will get stitched down, rather than if you go the other way around. Eventually when you do single stitches, you might need to take the threads over. So it's your preference, you do what you want, but my preference would be going for minimum. And so this little log icon will be logged pretty much most of the time, at least initially. Okay, and here's this bucket. I'll explain that a little bit as we come to actually marking this area here. So on the top left, if you look at the top bar here, and there's a menu you can open. There's a panel. So on this panel here, the default view would be the symbol, which is a symbol I've selected on the screen. I can switch and it will change. So this is where it got initially quite confusing for me, because if you think about Pattern Keeper, as soon as you select an icon, a symbol, everything's highlighted. That symbol, all the stitches of that symbol is highlighted, but not with Saga. Okay, so this is where you have to get your head around. In order to do that, you have to flick this dial open. Let me do that now. So when I do that, it's supposed to show up, but I think maybe my stitch highlight isn't on. I turned it off here, or maybe not big enough. Let me see. Let me see what's happening here. I'm trying. Oh, it's here. It's here. It's black. So let me change the color. So what you do is you go back to this border menu here. Okay, watch. And I'm going to tap on Oh no, hang on. Is it this one or that one? Sorry. Apologies. Okay, it's the this one just highlighted here. We haven't gone through yet. So this is for sale. So this is what the menu you need to define what your highlighted stitches will look like. Okay, so let me place it aside. So what it is, if you drag the middle bar, you can make the border thicker or thinner. Okay, that's one. So we should have gone through this menu first before we dive into it, but here we are. So this is the checkerboard, this little icon here. Okay, so this will give you definition of how thick you want the highlighted border is, or maybe all the way, depending on what colors you define. So let me make it a little bit thicker so we can see, but black is very confusing. So I'm going to change the colors. I just drag the bars and I can change it to any color I want. So very similar to Pattern Keeper here, okay? And once you're there, and let me make it red. Normally I make it reddish color, and the thickness of the border, I'm happy with it. And the eye slider is basically to make it a little bit faint, more faint or bold. I want it bold, okay? And there's some color variations you can play with. So here we are. Now we can see, if you look at the toolbar again, the top panel bar here. Let me see if I can get my, yes, here. Now, once this style is on, you can see the highlighted stitches. But if I turn it off, even though the symbol is being selected, you cannot see the stitches. So it took me a while to get my head around this, because I was thinking, where is the symbol I've selected? I can't see anything. But this is important, because then when you turn it on, it locks all the stitches away, just like Pattern Keeper. It's not that different. But in terms of steps, you do need to turn it on. So now you can start stitching practically. Now you have the first symbol selected, but you can also come to this panel on the left here. If you tap just anywhere around this top left area, it shows you this side panel here. So what you're seeing here is basically all the colors within this selected area and not anything else. So all of them were grayed out. Any colors that doesn't exist within this box that you selected will be grayed out. So it's very, very focused within this area. And on the top, just below the top panel here, you've got all these stuff going on there. So let's go by order then. On the left here, it's just a symbol to tell you it's sorting downwards. But if you tap on the record, the first one, what it is, it tells the system to go from top to bottom of the list. But in terms of the sorting order, let's open the A where it says A there. So this, by default, it says with minimum stitches left, meaning that you go from colors that's got minimum stitches. You can see that on the left here, it's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then if I move up, the number starts to go up, okay? You've got 2, 3, 4, and eventually when you get to the bottom color, it's got 58. So that's what's happening within this box I've just selected. So it goes from minimum to maximum. You can flip it and go from maximum to minimum here. So it's up to you. If you do that, the sorting order will change. So these are the two sort of, basic ones that you can play with. Obviously, I go for minimum to max because it makes sense from the stitching point of view. But there are a few other options. We'll come to them when we deep dive in a future session. I want to keep it just enough information that you can start stitching. And also here you can see there's a car icon here, just below here. it's on by default. So this is pretty cool. So if it's on, basically what happens, let me come out of this menu here. So currently I've selected 4 blocks here, which is not massive. But imagine if you want to stitch page by page, and Saga does not recognize pages from the pattern because it's arbitrary. It only cares about the pattern itself and the grids, okay? But you can manually create any size area you want. Okay, so if I make it bigger, I don't know what this, typical heaven and earth page would be. Let's say it's this big, right? So if you come to quite a large area, if you're ambitious, you want to do a color complete, minimum to max within a large area. There may be times when you zoom into one area, but the next stitches waiting for you is at the bottom here, right? That could happen, right? So if you zoom in really close like I normally do, the next stitches could be out of view. So what this car does is, if you imagine have a chauffeur basically driving you to the location for your next stitches, the next destination, based on the sorting here that you determine, max to, minimum to max, or based on thread numbers. You could do that as well. I don't know why anybody would do that, but you can follow the number of the threads from, small number to large number. So if the car icon is active, it would jump to the section for you, jump to the area of the screen for you. So let's say if you really zoomed in really close, if the next the next color is at the bottom of the pattern, basically it will hop the screen to this. Can you see that? To the bottom right there. Let's say if these are the next stitches, let's say these ones, right? Let's say these ones, the next one you're about to stitch, but you're at the bottom up, the upper left, the car will drive you over here. Does that make sense? So it's a feature that you have to probably use it to appreciate it. And now let's mark a few stitches here. So let me come to this list and go for slightly larger numbers so you can appreciate what it looks like. So let me pick this number. You can manually select them as well. You can jump through, sort of stitch out of order if you want to. So now I'm going to select this one on the left here. Yeah. So, or maybe a few more stitches. Let's go for 14. Okay. And it highlights all the stitches of this color in this area. And so the 2 ways you can mark it, if you're doing color by color, really, what you can do is look to the tool on the left here. Okay. Let me see if you can see my mouse. There's a bucket. Okay. As Joy says, kicking the bucket. What you do is you just tap on the bucket on the toolbar there. Tap. And everything's marked. See, it's already jumped to the next color for me. It navigates for me. So, but you can see all the colors, all the symbols of this color have been marked with one action. That's one way of doing it. But if you go, well, that's, quite a lot of stitches I want to mark as I go, you can do that too. Let me go to a larger number here. Let's go to 40, right? And let's see where they are. So they're everywhere. So it's very easy to get lost and miss stitches if you just commit at one go. So in this case, in order to mark stitch by stitch, you go to let me bring up the mouse. You go to the lock icon and unlock it. So I'm going to unlock it, because if not, see, if I'm interact with the pattern, it just drags through. It doesn't let me mark anything. If I unlock it, Now you can see it's unlocked. And now when I go over to mark these stitches, it allows me to individually mark them. Make sense? So there are two ways of doing it. Is overall just commit all the highlighted stitches and mark them, or you go into the pattern individually. But in order to do that, you have to unlock the chart. So there's a lot of locking, unlocking going on here, which you may or may not like. It depends on how you want to use your app. But these are the steps you have to go through in order to do that. But when you come to the end, once you've done, okay, these ones at the bottom right here, I pretty much know that I've already stitched them. Then I can also just hit the bucket, on the left here, and mark everything, and it takes me to the next one. So there's auto navigation in two ways. One is it takes you, it jumps to the next color in order of your choice. And also you can decide whether you want to have the auto navigation with the car as well. If you turn the car off, let's say you turn it off, the only thing that changes is the next time when the next color is out of view, you have to manually find it. That's the only difference. Make sense? Okay, so pretty much, at this point, you can start stitching, because all you have to do is determine what order you want to sort your list. And then decide whether you want to auto navigation. It's not critical one way or the other. And you can start stitching, and, all is good to go. So these are the kind of critical elements to get you started. And there are quite a few others. Yes, there's another one that's important. If you want to park, right, you can park. And let me just lock this area first, and maybe make it a little bit smaller so we can see the entire area. Okay, so all you have to do is drag through, highlight the number here, and then drag it through. So the icon, this is a handle icon. This is to move the chart. If you press and hold a number here on any side, it resizes. So this is only different. So I'm going to come back to a 6 block area. So you can see the entire area in one view, and I'm going to lock it for now. Lock the chart. Okay, so I don't move it by accident. And when I'm here, so within this area, depends on the method, maybe you want to park as well, who knows? Or you can maybe not even define an area, just want to do a free parking stitching. Then what you do is you come to this icon here, the diamond shape with the pointer at the bottom. This is the parking icon. So by default, it's off. So if you want to use your parking, you can hide and show your part threads as well. So if I tap to turn it on, and now the way you park, so Pattern Keeper, you can have shortcut, you can double tap, right? With this, what you do is, let's see, I can just bring my finger to any of the stitches and press and hold. It doesn't matter if the color is highlighted. That's a unique thing about, even though at the moment, if you look at the upper left here, the symbol here is this bracket. Let me bring another one that's more obvious. Whoops. Oh, see, this is what happens. Let me see. Hang on. Let me lock the chart first so I don't accidentally. So at the moment, I've got this icon selected. So in theory, if it's Pattern Keeper, you can only park within the highlighted stitches, the symbol you've chosen. But for Saga, it gives you full freedom to park anywhere you want. So now my parking icon is highlighted. I can just go and press. Let me press one that's within the highlighted stitch. Okay, so let me, for whatever reason, I want to park here. Press and hold. Can you see the diamond shape? It's red, so it's confusing. So I'm going to, by press and hold the two icon, you can change colors as well. So let me change to something that you can see the contrast. Okay, that's enough contrast there. So that's parked. But also, even though this is the highlighter symbol, I can just go out anywhere. To the right here, I'm gonna just park a thread on this sun icon as well. So you can literally just press and hold anywhere and park it. I can even park outside this box. Even though everything's locked, I cannot mark them. If I, touch anything that's outside the border, I can't do anything, but I can park for some reason. So you can literally park everywhere. Makes sense? So, so you can park as well, and then just come back to it. And you probably noticed they all share the same symbol. It doesn't ask you which corner you're going to park because it's relevant for the app. It's interpreting you. It's presuming that you know which corner that you're parking and you're consistent. And if you're a stitcher, it should be quite obvious. Everybody has, their default way of parking. So whichever corner you're parking, these are the parked area, and it doesn't ask you additional questions because it doesn't think it's relevant. Right. So I'm going to stop the walkthrough here. We've got another about 17 minutes before we wrap it up. So this is a very high level walkthrough here, and let me come to the chat. If you have sort of questions maybe I missed for really critical steps for you to pick up the app and start using today, you can type in the chat, let me know. And if I don't know for any reason, then I will look to the expert in-house and see if they can answer for me. So if you have a question now, I'm happy to answer here. And let me just bring this view away for now and maybe bring it back if it's necessary. Okay, so I'm just scanning through the chat here. Vadu, he says, can I import paper charts? No, not with Saga. I was hoping they could do that, but not really. But even with charts that you scan and has turned into PDFs, well, clearly you have to do that in order to do it. But no, it does not import anything that's not digitally created and also compatible with the app. So that's the answer to you. So journals and stitches, let me look up. I don't know what your initial question is. You say you should be able to. Let me just quickly look up, or maybe you can, if you don't mind typing again. Let me just have a look. So I can't see any additional questions here. Oh, there's one coming. Joy says, just FYI, on the Android, some menus look a bit different. Yes, that's a very good point. So the situation, let me just respond to Joyce. So situation with Android version now is the Android version is not most up to date because this, they're not allowed to make any profit on Play Store right now. So they pause the development on the Android as far as I know, but it's available. There are ways you can download it and still use it. I think it's still fully usable. And there's a link, and I'll share that well, there's a post on my community post that I posted yesterday as well, but we can take care of that. Just join our Facebook group. There's a lot of support there, and all will be clear for you. But this is the iOS version on my iPad and it might look slightly different on your phone as well, but I think all the functionalities are the same. So the iOS version is most up to date because they can still allow people to buy the app on the iOS, so the development continues. So thank you, Joyce, for that caveat. And Gritty says, how do you frog stitches? Okay, very good point, very good point. So if you make mistake as much as I do, you probably need to frog, right? So let me switch off the park symbol off. You can just tap on the little diamond here and just turn it off, out of the way. Okay, so when you mark let me mark these stitches manually. So in order to mark the two ways, same way that you mark, and the two methods. So to mark, as I described, you can use the bucket on the left here. Let me tap on the bucket and commit the whole thing, right? And in order to manually mark them, you have to unlock the chart. Same thing when you frog a stitch, when you unmark a stitch. So here, if I want to unmark, what you can do is to unlock first. Okay, so you have to lock and unlock a lot with this app here. So you unlock the map chart first. It frees up this pencil icon down here. If you can see this pencil icon, you tap on the pencil. Oh, great question. I totally missed this one. You tap on the pencil turns upwards, and you also can see that you see a trash bin here. So what I'm going to do is to walk back my selection here first. Okay, so these are unmarked again, and I'm going to manually just mark some of them. Let me just flip back. Okay, let me see what's the best way to show you. So let's see if I mark these stitches. Depending on how many stitches you need to frog, you can just do an undo. Here's the undo button. I think it exists on Markup RXP as well, maybe not on Pattern Keeper. You can just undo it. The whole thing's off. It keeps jumping. That's okay. It's trying to sort. Let me turn off the sorting. I learned this from Joyce. Okay, you can turn off any kind of sorting, just do it manually. So let me do that now. And let's say if I mark these stitches, so the chart has to be unlocked. Okay, that's the precondition. And if I want to unlock it, unmark everything, I need to flip this pencil icon in order to get the bin, the trash bin icon. So you can do it. So once you see the trash bin, then you can just, as if you're trying to mark the stitches, I can unmark the existing stitches. Make sense? So it's a little bit of faff, to be honest, but I think it's the same with Pattern Keeper. You have to flip through the selection in order to frog the stitches. So it's just done in a different way, but I think the key is this lock icon here. You need to be mindful when you lock and when you unlock. Obviously, in order to make any setting changes, you need to unlock the chart, but keep it unlocked. Also, there are disadvantages. You can mark something by accident. So this is something you probably have to get your head around and get used to it, okay? And you will learn because you will make mistakes, like I do many times, and then you remember, okay? So play around with the app and don't jump to conclusion, don't get frustrated because it's a new app and it's got many, many great features and really fun way of stitching as well. So hopefully that answer Greta's question here. And journals and stitches says no questions. Oh, River says the car icon, the auto navigation isn't available on Android. Android, maybe it was a newer feature that was added to the app, therefore it didn't make it to the final cut for Android. So bear in mind that. And Rainy says, lurking at work, we'll have to watch replay. Everything is going to be archived, so you're not going to miss anything here. So let me know if you have any more additional questions. As I said, this is a very high-level walkthrough. Just get you started. That's the goal here. And, you know, depends on whether there will be sort of, you know, things that we can deep dive in. There are quite a few other features we can do for future sessions, maybe piecemeal, so we don't get overwhelmed. And this is an app, it's full of really, really clever and advanced features here. Joy says, maybe nice to show the counter flags. What are the counter flags? Oh, the counter, as in, oh, yes, the stats. Oh, Joyce, what do I do without you? Yes, of course. We all like a little bit of stats, don't we? So with Pattern Keeper, you can get a count in general. But here, let's look at this icon here. Thank you, Joyce, for reminding me. Here's this little chart icon here. We like a little bit of a counter, so let me tap on that. So there are two panels here, okay, and on the right is the log, sort of, you know, based on calendars or sprints. I'm going to leave that out and talk about it in a bit. But look to the left. So there's some vital stats here. One is progress. We like to know our percentage. So here's currently I'm 0.01 percentage based on the entire piece. So that's obvious. And here's number. So there are two sections. The top one is the total number of stitches. So you have the entirety of the piece, the number of stitches here. 56, I have no idea, Joyce, what is that? 55 that I have marked. I think that's what it means, right, Joyce? And the one on the right equals, yes, minus 56. So 56 is the one I've already stitched. And on the right is the remaining. So the simple mathematical thing here. Okay, my math is not great. But marathon, I have no idea. Joyce might be able to help me, so I'm going to leave that out. But underneath is important too. So like now, if I flip back, I have the area defined. So I want to know what's happening within this area. It's most relevant to me. So I'm going to come back to the chart here. So here you can see within the area. So it says on the tin, it's very obvious, right? And it's got this icon here to help you as well. And it says cross stitch within this area, 6 blocks, 600 stitches. Within the 600, I've done 7 stitches and the remaining is 593. And also underneath, very helpful, how many colors involved of it's this area. No, I think this entire piece, it couldn't be. Yes, so basically break it down to 2 main sections, the number of stitches, number of colors, and both of them are divided within the entirety, the entire piece, and also within the area. So, you know, makes sense. So within the area, I've got 70 colors, I've done 2 colors, I've got 67 remains. Okay, so these are the vital statistics here. And on the right, you can play with this. So as you stitch every day, it will go with the calendar. I have no idea what this is actually, but you have the calendar view, which is default view. Today it creates, for me, I've done 56 colors, okay? That's stitches. And you can open up, it probably give you some sort of breakdown of, you know, more detailed breakdown here. But on the right, where the clock, which I use quite a lot for my stream, is to start a counter from 0. So with the plus sign, it's called sprint, okay? So if I hit the plus sign, it gives me some way to define which sprint it is. I normally just leave it by default, done. And once that's done, it creates a counter for me from 0. So it captures the time, the session, and it also counts the number of stitches and gives you the average per hour as well. So if you like that. Make sense? Joyce, have I covered everything? Let me see. APAD is the app Oslo for free. The one on iPad. Okay, I misread that. Within the little flag, stitch. Hang on, Joyce. Just trying to understand what Joyce. Do you mean here? What flag is it? Do you mean the icon at the bottom? Really mean the stitch counter with a little flag? I'm not understanding which bit the Joyce's let me see what this is. I have no idea what 4 is. Oh, is that what you mean? Oh yes, of course. This I never use, so that's why I have no clue. Is that what you mean, darling? So if I move the cursor down here, there's a number 4 here. I never ever use it. I never ever use it. So yes, okay. So this is quite clever as well. So let me just turn it off first. So this is default view that I'm using most of the time. But by turning on, it counts for you. It tells you this from top to bottom on the column left, there are 4 stitches, and horizontally 5 stitches and 4 stitches. Yeah, I got it. Thank you, Joyce. I never ever use it, so it didn't even occur to me. So this is little kind of clever thing. This kind of probably I would put it in more deep dive section, but you don't need it to start stitching, okay? But it's nice to know. Now you know. Just turn on the little flag there, and on and off. It will help you to count, basically. All right. So I'm looking at the time. So we have 1 minute left. I know there's probably still a lot of questions, so join our Facebook. Let me paste in the a lot of you are regulars, so you're already in the group, but let me just paste in for some newcomers here. If you join the group, our Facebook group, there's a lot of help here that you can get. Within the limited time, I probably not covering everything, but hopefully you have enough to get going. Maybe join us in a stream in about half an hour, and join our soul with your arm with your Saga. I can see my own notification coming in for the next stream. Okay, guys. So with that, I'm going to end, but don't go anywhere. When I end the stream, it will redirect you to the next stream, okay, to get you warmed up there. So stay where you are. I'm going to just say bye-bye for about half an hour, and I'll see you in 30 minutes for our soul. Yeah, just stay where you are. You'll be taken to the next stream. Okay, guys, see you there.